Welcome to the Oxygen Alliance YouTube channel, where we bring you videos on installation, maintenance, and various trainings on oxygen equipment and devices. If you have comments and/or questions, drop them in the comment section below or write to us info@oxygenalliance.org. Remember to like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell.
Hello everyone, my name is Linda Mission and I am a biomedical engineer with the Open02 team. If you are not subscribed yet, please do so and don't forget to hit that notifications bell. In this video, I'll be joined by several technicians who will talk about different aspects of the Jay-5 Oxygen Concentrator. So let's get started.
Hello everyone, my name is Francis Sambani and I'm a biomedical engineer. In this video, I'm going to take you through the status or indicator lights found on the front panel of the Longfian Jay-5 Oxygen Concentrator. Now let's dive in. So the Longfian Jay-5 has status lights for purity, high or low purity. It has status lights for high temperature, and it has status lights for high or low pressure, and it also has status lights for power failure or power working or power okay. So let's go more into details about these status lights. For the low oxygen or low purity LED, it is red in color and it is accompanied with an audible alarm whenever the purity is below 85. The one in between the low purity and high purity LED is intended for medium oxygen, but then it has no use on these oxygen concentrators. For the high purity LED, it is blue in color and will turn on when the purity is above 85. That's it on the purity LEDs. So moving on to the high temperature LED. This LED is red in color and will turn on when the internal temperature of this machine goes above 50 degrees Celsius. So it is controlled by the program on the main control board, and the temperature sensor is also found on the main control board itself. So moving on to the other two, the pressure LEDs. We have the low pressure LED and the high pressure LED. The low pressure LED is red in color, and this one will turn on when the pressure, when the system pressure goes below 14.5 psi, and it is also accompanied with an audible alarm. This is the high pressure LED, and the high pressure LED is red in color and will only go off or go on when the system pressure is above 33 psi, and it is also accompanied with an audible alarm as well. So in case of power failure or power loss, or when your machine is in the I position and not connected to the wall or power outlet, this power failure LED will turn on, and it is also accompanied with an audible alarm as well. So in case your machine is working just fine, you have this green LED, and which shows that you don't have any power problems at all. So coming this far, this is all about the 8 status lights found on the Longfian Jay-5.
Hello, my name is Daphne Magela and I am a biomedical engineering intern. I'll be taking you through the process of disassembling a Longfian Jay-5 oxygen concentrator in order to access the internal components. So let's get started. In order to open your Longfian Jay-5 concentrator, you need a Phillips screwdriver. This will help you to open your concentrator without damaging your screws. So before beginning the process, we have to switch off our concentrator and remove the power cord. So this concentrator has 5 screws that need to be unscrewed in order to open it. And 3 are located on the top and 2 are located on the sides. So we're going to begin the process. The first 3 screws are located on the top, and in order to access them, you just remove this cover. And then this is where the first screw is, and I'm going to unscrew it using my Phillips screwdriver. Once you remove that screw, you remove this first lid. and then you find the 2 screws under that lid, and you also unscrew them. So the screw on the left is loose and it's going to pop out when we remove this back cover. Now, after that, we have to remove our remaining 2 screws, which are located on the side. So we first remove these covers, and they contain your cabinet filters. If your cabinet filters are dirty, they are washable, so you can remove them, wash them, and air dry them as you're working on your concentrator. And this is where the screws are located, both sides. So we're going to unscrew them. And once you're done with unscrewing, you just pull back the cover, and that means you're done with the disassembling process.
Hello everyone, my name is Fasanta Mandiani and I'm a biomedical engineer with the Open O2 team. As we continue to explore the Jay-5 Oxygen Concentrator, I'll be explaining the different parts that make up this concentrator and where they are located. So let's dive in. The first part that we're going to look at is the fuse. The Jay-5 concentrator has a fuse which is located on the back of the concentrator on the power cord socket. So to access the fuse, you just have to use a small screwdriver and push it from the inside of the socket. So this fuse is rated 250 volts AC and 7 amps. This fuse is there to protect this unit from high current or any short circuits that may originate from the power mains supply. And this fuse has a wire element inside that melts when there is high current, thereby breaking the circuit. From this power cord circuit, the power is tapped to the compressor, which is inside this casing, and then also to the transformer on top of this compressor enclosure. This transformer is there to decrease this power of 230 volts to 15 volts AC. The transformer has 2 input red wires which are rated at 230 volts AC and 4 output wires. Of the 4 output wires, the first pair is yellow in color and carries 15 volts AC at 0.2 amps, and the other pair, which is white in color, carries 15 volts AC at 0.33 amps. From the secondary side of the transformer, the power, the 15 volts AC, is directed to the PCB, where there is a electrification circuit which converts this 15 volts AC to DC, which is needed by the components on the PCB and also the solenoid valves. This PCB is responsible for controlling the opening of the solenoid valves to allow air to either move from the compressor to the sieve beds or from the sieve beds to the environment when the sieve beds are purging. The PCB is also responsible for controlling and powering on the LCD display on the front and also the status lights, as my friend already explained. Moving on, some Jay-5 concentrators have an oxygen sensor, while some do not have, and this is one of the concentrators that do not have an oxygen sensor. So for those concentrators that have an oxygen sensor, the sensor is used to monitor the concentration of oxygen in the system, and when the oxygen falls below 80%, it triggers an alarm. For these models, in order for you to know the performance of these concentrators, you just have to use an oxygen analyzer The compressor used in J5 concentrator is located inside this metal enclosure. So to access the compressor, you have to unscrew all these screws and on the other side also. So the compressor uses a 15 microfarad capacitor, which is this one located here. That is responsible for starting the compressor and also keeping it running. And also on top of this metal casing for the compressor, I have this intake filter, which traps the dust particles that may have passed through the cabinet filters. So this intake filter can be removed by just turning it clockwise and then pull it out. And you have to know that this intake filter is washable. You can remove it and wash it and let it air dry, and make sure that it's completely dry before putting it in. And when putting it in, you can just slide it in, turn it a little bit, and then turn it clockwise to lock it into place. From the compressor, the air is fed into this solenoid valve block. From this valve block, the air is fed either into this sieve bed or this sieve bed, depending on the size or stage. So inside this sieve beds, there is molecular sieve, which is called zeolite, and zeolite is of two types. First, we have lithium-based zeolite and sodium-based zeolite. So in this J5 concentrator, we use sodium. As you can see here, we refilled this one with sodium 100% in order to reduce the cost of this concentrator. From these two sieve beds, the air then moves into this product tank. This is a product tank. The most basic function of this product tank is to store the oxygen that is coming from these sieve beds. On top of that, it also acts as a buffering system, that is, stabilizes the pressure, because these sieve beds may be producing different pressures. So when the oxygen coming from this and this gets mixed down here, the pressure is stabilized, and also the oxygen that may differ from the two sieve beds is also mixed up, so that to give the patient a steady oxygen. Just down here, connected to this product tank, is a pressure regulator. So this pressure regulator is responsible for reducing the high pressure that is coming from the sieve beds to the pressure that then we can feed to the patient. So this J5 concentrator works in pressure ranges between 40 kilopascals to 78 kilopascals. While different models, they may go from 40 to 138 kilopascals. So on top of this compressor housing casing, we also have these two exhaust mufflers. So these white exhaust mufflers are used to purge nitrogen into the environment. We need this because when the sieve beds are being purged, they sometimes produce a high-pitched noise. So these exhaust mufflers are there to reduce the noise during the purging process. And lastly, from this pressure regulator is connected to this bacteria filter. So this bacteria filter is responsible for filtering out the bacteria that might have gone through the system. And from the bacteria filter is connected to this port here, which is the flow meter. If I turn this around, you can see that from that bacteria filter is connected to this flow meter that is used to set the flow of oxygen delivered to the patient. And from the flow meter to the flow meter, we have this oxygen outlet here.
Hi, it's Francis again. This time around, I'm going to take you through how you can open and close the sieve beds of a Longfian J5, and also how you can maintain a damaged solenoid valve of the Longfian J5. Let's dive in. So for you to refill and also remove the sieve bed, what you need is you need a Phillips screwdriver, an 8mm spanner or socket with a wrench in this case. You also need a bent Cyclops pliers, sellotape, and also some scissors, a pair of scissors. So for you to remove the sieve beds, you take your Phillips and you unscrew all the 4 screws on each sieve bed, which hold to the casing of the compressor. After you've gotten out the 4 screws, you have to press the release button of the push-in fitting. So you just press it and then pull it out, and you also do for the same on the bottom one. Just press it and pull it out, and you have your seat belt out. So after you've done that, you need to tape these 2 openings with some sellotape, because you don't want to expose the zeolite to the room. So make sure that every time you're trying to open seat belts, to open up the seat belts and expose the zeolite, you're in a room which is controlled. So you need to make sure that the humidity is below 45%. So that's why we're taping these seat belts, because we don't know at what humidity this room is at. So once you've taped those openings and you're in a controlled environment where the humidity is below 45%, you can refill this seat belt by just opening these. So we won't go through the refilling process, but if you'd like to see how you can refill this seat belt, you can refer to the Olive 5 video that we did previously on how you can refill seat belts of an oxygen concentrator. The process is more of the same. But then only one thing is different about the type of zeolite you find in here. The zeolite that you have in here is sodium based, and also it weighs about 1.1 kilograms. But also in addition to that, you have some big diameter zeolites at the bottom, and these are separated from the normal diameter zeolites up above with a wire mesh. And the reason you have those big diameter zeolites at the bottom is because they're there for to trap water in case you have water condensing from the compressor, that is. So they're just there for trapping the water and enhance the performance. So just one more detail is that this seat belt is 410 millimeters in length.
Hi, it's Linda again. Now I'll take you through how to access the compressor of the Jay-5 Oxygen Concentrator, and also how to measure the dimensions of the service kits of the compressor used in the Jay-5 Oxygen Concentrator. So let's dive in. So with me here is the Jay-5 Oxygen Concentrator with the seat belts already removed. So in order to access the compressor, you have to remove all the screws on the metal casing on the sides, and then remove the 2 covers on the sides of the casing. So now I'll remove the screws on the casing using the Phillips screwdriver. So I have removed all the screws, and now I'll remove the 2 side covers of the metal casing. this is the compressor inside the Jay-5 Oxygen Concentrator. So after you have removed the side covers, you also have to remove the tubing on the compressor exhaust. So for us to remove the tubing, there's a hose clip, so I'll use this nut drive to remove the hose clip. So for easy access, I'll also remove this pipe. Since it is a fitting tubing, I'll just push the release button and then pull the pipe out. So the hose clip is loose. Now I'll pull the tubing out. So after you have removed the tubing, without disconnecting any wires from the PCB, you have to lift the casing together with the front cover of the concentrator and then move it to the other side. So now you have access to the compressor in the Jay-5 Oxygen Concentrator. So for you to service this compressor, you can watch our YouTube video on how to service a compressor. So the process is the same for all the compressors. So the Jay-5 Oxygen Concentrator uses different models of compressors. So this is ZW400A compressor. So depending on the mode of compressor you find inside your concentrator, you have to use the same service kits with the same dimensions as the ones you are going to find in that compressor. So you can use the vernier caliper to measure the dimensions of the service kits that you find in your compressor and also the new ones that you want to replace the old ones. So on how to measure the dimensions of the service kits that are found inside the compressors, you can also watch our video on the Olive 5. So reaching this far, this marks the end of this video. Thank you for watching and bye bye.